In a nutshell, why is a carnivore diet superior to keto? Um, it's how humans have been eating for a very, very long time. Now, keto, humans basically do are when they're on a carnivore diet, like the Maasai, like remember Mary Ruddock actually did testing on the Maasai, and she found them in this low grade of 1 millimole. They were sort of gravitating between either a bit above or a bit below 1 millimole, and that's everyone. Males, females, anyone that they actually she tested, and she took a lot of test kits with her, notice very similar. And same sort of things are noticed amongst many other tribals, only in certain seasonal periods when they're fattening up by engaging the Randall cycles towards the end of summer and all that, where they've got accessibility in the wild to some of these compounds. That's the only time they sort of shift out. And also when they're probably eating in excess, they're eating quite a bit, they will sort of move in and out of that ketotic state, which is a good thing. You don't want to be in a catabolic state forever, continuously, um, either. You know, you have fat stores to basically store energy for a rainy day. You don't want to be basically in constant energy sort of deficit. Not a good thing. That's what high ketosis is. Now, it does have some therapeutic benefits. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, in terms of general living, the carnivore diet's superior. It also basically furnishes your body with more um, taurine from the actual meats, and well, for the Maasai, also from dairy and other things. For other, in terms of seafood, eggs, and many other sources that they may get a bit of taurine here and there. It has a very strong osmotic effect throughout the whole body. That means it is a regulator of a lot of systems in terms of keeping them in a level of homeostasis. Something a pure keto diet, which is very high in fat, very low in protein, cannot do. This is why people struggle with electrolytes. The moment people need to supplement and constantly adjust their electrolytes and stuff like that, it's telling you that something isn't basically indicated as being normal, natural. It's like the vegan diet. Yes, you can disengage the Randall cycle by being on a fruitarian diet, but at the end of the day, it's devoid of sufficient nutrients. It's a fasting mimicking diet, which basically means you're in a catabolic state continuously. Again, it is a very unhealthy state to be continuously. Um, so short term, yes, superior to the standard diet, but long term, contraindicated and can be very damaging to the thyroid and your general endocrine system. Not a good idea. Your body needs a certain level of protein and a certain level of fat to basically function properly all the time. And that is why a carnivore diet will always be superior, because it can actually furnish the body with far more nutrient density, and at the same time can basically keep the body in this sort of swing between anabolism and catabolism, a sort of a very natural state to be, which is what our human ancestors were. They weren't constantly growing, but they weren't constantly breaking down. They were in this swinging between one state or another due to the access and availability of food in the environment, which was limited. So they had to work very hard for it. So that's pretty much it. Um, well, you're not necessarily, if you're eating green leafy vegetables on a keto diet, you're not going to be engaging the Randall cycle. But there are advantages of eating more meat compared to plants. Plants have very poor nutrition. Most people are basically starving for nutrition and not getting enough protein for their whole system. Because protein plays a lot of roles. Has regulatory roles, is involved in, is required for neurotransmitters, It's just not only fat, this, yeah, okay, you need fat for myelination, you need fats and cholesterol for all these sort of things, but you still need proteins as well. All these structures are made of protein and fat, not just fat. Um, so it's nonsensical. We need both. And a carnivore diet is way closer to what ancestrally we've done based on the N15 data. And I go on the N15 data. I'm not even interested in other arguments because basically any keto person can say whatever they like, and I can turn around and say one simple thing: show me a multi generational study on keto. They got none. Keto diet was first has been around for some time, on and off, and the therapeutic types with high fat, low protein types have been around for a long time for epilepsy, for other things. I mean, even the Romans knew they used to throw people who had neurological disorders like schizophrenia or whatever. They used to throw them into a room and deny them food and put them into ketosis, so to speak. And that seemed to eliminate some of their craziness, as they used to say. But basically, what they were putting them into ketosis. You can still be in a low grade ketosis on a carnivore diet and swing in and out and be very healthy and very stable and all that. And you take a look at a lot of people like Amber O'Hearn and many others, they had problems regulating a number of things on a keto diet. On a carnivore diet, you don't have to think about it. Just eat meat and meat and steak and eggs, or, if you can tolerate eggs, but, just eating steaks. You don't need to, put a bit of salt on your steak, and you don't even have to worry about any of this sort of stuff. Um, your electrolytes are managed by the taurine in the meat. Um, it's a non. It's a you see tribal people, they just kill an animal, cut it up, and start eating it. Some raw, and then they also um, the Inuit consume a lot of raw meat, and plus cooked stuff and all that. No issues whatsoever. Multi generational. And the N15 data backs up this multi-generational situation. It's a non-issue. It's basically a non-issue. Um, yeah, so I wouldn't even worry about it. Um, uh, it's not even an argument between the two. A keto diet is a very open-ended thing. What is it really? You can have a keto diet, a vegan keto diet, all the way to a heavy animal-based keto diet. There's a lot of gamut there. Paleo, keto diet. There's all variations. I'd stick to basically a low grade carnivore ketogenic type approach, where you're swinging in and out of this low grade ketosis, and that is way healthier. And that's more indicated when you look at tribal populations around the planet. That's how they actually live. So I'd stick to that, and I'd stick the N15 data as my guide, since we don't have any long-term um, multi-generational studies. The only thing we have is the N15 data from archaeology. I'll take that as a higher source of evidence than I will take some sort of observational epidemiological nonsense that's out there. So, and a lot of keto people use, like a lot of the vegans and many others, and use a lot of this nonsense observational stuff. It's just junk.